Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about how to get snatched for summer. I'm a personal trainer. I specialize in this. Let me help the people out. Let me give you my free advice to help you get snatched for summer because we all deserve to feel our best. I want to first remind you what you already probably know, but you need to hear. You will not achieve long-term results if you do not build on habits. Quick fixes do not really work. I am sure that you don't just want to feel snatched and feel like a little baddie for just 4 weeks. You probably want to feel great year-round. And if you follow this advice, this will not only help you get snatched for summer, but it's also going to help you maintain these results year-round, so you don't have to continue Googling every new year, every summer, how to get snatched, how to lose weight, how to build muscle, how to look and feel my best, because this is it. This is how we do it. We are going to talk about 3 different aspects to getting snatched. The first one is going to be the diet, second is nutrition, and third is arguably, in my opinion, the most important, and that is mindset. This also comes from a slight bias that I do really work a lot with. This isn't all of my clients, but I do work a lot with people who are high stress, which is most of the United States, especially now, and people who struggle with mental health. So let's get started. We are going to start off first with the diet. We really have 2 options here. We have intuitive eating and we have tracking. We'll start with the tracking first. We can either track our calories or we can track our macros. With the calories, we all know what calories are. And then we also have the macros, which also incorporate tracking calories, because if you are tracking macros, you're naturally already tracking your calories, but it's just more detailed information on what type of calories you're consuming. So we have 4 different macronutrients. Most of us only talk about 3, but there are 4. Those 4 macros are protein, carbs, and fats. Oh, see, exactly. We're so used to tracking 3 that I literally didn't even include the 4th. The 4th one is alcohol. So alcohol is typically not something, when you have a macro plan, your coach more than likely is not going to include alcohol in there. Usually you'll track your alcohol as either a carb or a fat. But before we start tracking macros at all in the first place, we need to know what our maintenance calories are, because there is absolutely no way you can just come up with a number straight out of your ass and figure out whether this is going to help you maintain weight, lose weight, or gain muscle, aka gaining weight. I see a lot of people just throwing out random numbers of you should be eating this much, you shouldn't be eating this much. There's absolutely no way to tell unless you know what your maintenance calories are. So if anyone ever tells you to eat X amount of calories without having you do an assessment, already disregard it. Already disregard it. Some of the things that you can do to get a very low-key kind of a range of where your maintenance calories are is if they ask questions like your height, your age, your weight, your gender. But the best way to find your maintenance calories is not through doing any of those things, and instead doing an actual assessment on yourself. So this means that you are going to track everything that you eat and drink for anywhere from 3 days to a week. The longer you do the assessment, the more accurate it's going to be, especially because our habits may not change from 3 days, but our habits may definitely change after 7 days, especially with the weekend. So if you're tracking on a weekday, you're doing 3 days, let's say you're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, those days you may be great with your nutrition, but then let's say the weekend comes, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and those 3 days look entirely different than Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it is more accurate if you can do a full week assessment. And the way you're gonna do it is you're going to track your weight in the morning before you eat or drink anything. It can be after you go to the bathroom, but whatever you do, make sure it is consistent. And then track everything that you eat and drink for 3 to 7 days. From there, I would take the average of the calories. This will tell us where we need to be at calorie-wise, which ultimately, if you want to lose weight, which is what most people want to do when they say they want to get snatched or lean down, they typically mean they want to cut down. They want to lose some body fat. So being in a caloric deficit is going to be the most important part. Once you're done with this assessment, you're next going to take those average of calories and you're going to decrease it by just 150 calories. And you'll be able to make adjustments from week to week if you're not getting the results that you want. So on average, from week to week, you should be losing anywhere from 1/2 pound to 1.5 pounds. Now, when it comes to the macros, so the protein, carbs, and fats that you should be eating, everyone's macros are going to be a little bit different. Now, if you don't want to work with a nutrition coach, what you can instead do is use the nutrition recommendations, the general nutrition recommendations, which for the most part is going to be very helpful for almost all of you. So let's say you finished the assessment and it told you that your maintenance calories, let's say that ended up totaling 1,700 calories for the average. From there, what you can do is take these nutrition recommendations and plug those numbers in to figure out how much protein, how much carbs, and how many fats that you should be eating. I'm going to be putting them up on the screen right here so you can kind of see the math equation on how you can do this yourself. So we want to make sure that first we are subtracting that 1,700 by 150 before we start doing these equations so we can get the right macros to get you snatched. From there, then you can just plug all those numbers in and that will give you the total amount of calories you should be eating, as well as the total amount of grams of protein, grams of carbs, and grams of fats. I have a nutrition guide. I think it's up on my website for $15, $20, something like that. Most of the money is being donated to Feeding America, which helps get food into the mouths of children and families who are struggling through poverty. The important thing with that is it goes into detail on things I'm not going to go into detail here. So I would definitely recommend just buying that, if anything. So that is the tracking route. You can also go the intuitive eating route. That being said, if you are eating intuitive, you are not going to be perfect. So with intuitive eating, honestly, really all it is making sure that you're incorporating healthier whole foods into your diet. For my personal preference with my own clients, I prefer my clients track macros so they get an idea of what types of foods are in their food choices before they start intuitive eating, because intuitive eating is really just going based off of a little bit of that knowledge. I call it mindful intuitive eating versus just eating whatever is around, because a lot of us already are doing that and not making the best decisions, which is why tracking usually is helpful in not only seeing the progress, but also learning why these things are beneficial for you. But if you do want to go the intuitive eating route, don't think that's a bad idea. I would just create a list of some food staples that have a lot of value to you. And this is not just value in the sense of, oh, it's healthy. Yes, we do want healthy food, but we also want, when we eat things like cookies and cake and pizza and all those things, it's not going to be the most filling. In fact, it can actually trigger our hunger even more, which can make us feel hungry when we're not hungry and cause us to eat more and cause us to eat into a surplus. And a lot of people aren't even aware of what these foods are. There are tons of them. I'll put some of them on the screen. Again, this is also, everything nutrition-wise is going to be in this nutrition guide that I'm talking about right now. You know what's delicious is a good piece of broccoli, said no one ever. Now, if you season that and bake it, ooh, it's so good. I usually recommend, if you are going the mindful intuitive eating route, you do the 80-20. 80% is the whole foods, the more nutritious foods, and then 20% are things like your cookies, cake, pizza, things that aren't as filling or as beneficial to our health. Some of it can be because it helps you sustain to your diet. So sometimes, like, this even means you should be eating a cupcake once a week because it helps you adhere better to your diet, versus someone shouldn't be eating a cupcake because it triggers them to binge and spiral. So everyone is unique. It is important to pay attention to your eating patterns and your behaviors. And if you want to eat something because it helps you adhere better, you should. If you want to eat something that triggers you and causes you to spiral, then you shouldn't. This is why nutrition is very, very individual, not only because of scientifically how fat loss and muscle gain works, but also because there's a whole psychological effect of food that we need to pay attention to and acknowledge. Now we're gonna move on to the training. There are 3 different options that we can do for training. We have the strength training, the weightlifting, we have the cardio, and we have the combination of incorporating both. Now, if your goal to get snatched for summer is mostly to get jacked, so you wanna build some muscle, then you mostly want to do weight training. Now, if you mostly wanna lose weight, you should also be lifting. And the reason for this is because lifting helps you burn calories. More people tend to sustain and enjoy lifting more than they do cardio. But if you want to lose weight and you really enjoy cardio and running, then do it. The goal here is you are finding what is more sustainable to you. Now, if you want to build muscle, running alone won't make you lose muscle, but it's not going to help you get jacked. You have to incorporate strength training into your routine or utilizing any sort of resistance training to build muscle. Cardio is not that. But luckily for someone who wants to lose weight, strength training, weightlifting, these things are incredibly beneficial, not only for your fat loss, but also for building muscle. If you simply want to lose weight alone, then you don't have to strength train. You can just do your cardio. I'm just going to give it to you straight. Ultimately, if you want to build muscle, you need to be lifting heavier. So this means you want equipment that can allow for progressive overload. If you are only working with, let's say, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, even 15 pounds, you are going to progress out of that very quickly. If you are not doing that, you are not going to create the change. I would start training at least 3 times per week. Your workout should usually be anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes long. And I would do a split of push and pull. So your push movements would be chest, shoulders, triceps. Pull would be your back, your delts, and biceps. And then legs, you can do legs all at once, or you can even split them up between quads and hamstrings. You can also even do full body splits. There are lots of ways that you can train, but I would get on a program. I would just follow a program. I have a power building program that would actually be really great for almost all of you guys watching this. It is strength focused while also being physique focused. That program is a 3-parter, so you'll start with level 1, then you can move on to level 2, then move on to level 3. Get on a program, focus on progressive overload. If you're not sure what progressive overload is, I have a video on that as well. And the third thing that is incredibly important and very crucial to your progress is the mindset. And training obviously can help change your mindset and change your confidence and give you this sense of, I can do whatever the hell I want because I've achieved these goals. Now watch me achieve more. And ultimately achieving anything, achieving any sort of success or any sort of goals will lead you there. But fitness is a really easy way, not easy, but it's a way that every single one of us can utilize to build our confidence in all aspects of our life. If your mind is not with you, if your mind is working against you, no matter what you do, you're going to fail. You may achieve a little success and then fail. So we need to make sure that you are truly believing in yourself and striving towards those goals without self-sabotaging, because most of the time, I learned this because I found out I was self-sabotaging and I was like, there's no way I'm self-sabotaging, I just suck. Well, that right there is self-sabotage. Saying I suck, I just suck, like I'm not self-sabotaging, I just suck. No, that is self-sabotaging. Stop. First of all, saying you suck. What does telling yourself that you suck do for you? Except make you feel shitty. Some of you guys are gonna argue with me and be like, no, it motivates me to do better. Okay, whatever, fine, then keep doing that if it works. But for most of you, it doesn't work. Stop telling yourself you suck. You can improve. And if you don't think you can improve, then that is exactly why we should be working on the mindset, because that thought is the reason you're holding yourself back. If you don't think you can get better, if you think that you are the outlier to everyone else can make the progress, but I can't, that's why you can't. Get yourself out of this cycle of telling yourself you can't, because you can, you want to, right? But it's the story you're telling yourself that is holding you back and that has held you back up until this point, and you can change that. Watch the next video. I'm going to link all of the things that I've talked about down in the description. I have a whole video on how to manifest your dream body. And it sounds a little woo-woo because of the title, but it is all about mindset. Honestly, all manifesting is thinking and turning it into reality. That is it for today's video. Go watch that video next. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, it'd mean the whole world to me if you give it a like, if you comment. It helps show support and it makes me feel loved and supported. And that's it. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.